In Siman Yud Zayin begins. The pasuk says that you're obligated to see the tzitzis, which excludes something. So the choice in the Gemara is to either exclude nighttime or a blind person. So we paskin suma chayev b'tzitzis, that risam oisai is to exclude night, that you're not obligated to wear tzitzis at night, which we'll talk in the next 2 days. What does that mean? Does it mean nighttime or does it mean pajamas even during the day? We'll get to that. But the point is there is a exclusion of nighttime from tzitzis. So what's included is a blind person. So the Mechaber says, because the pasuk says asher techasaba, which includes something. So we include a blind person because at least a blind person, his tzitzis is within sight from everyone else. And Risa Maisa is to exclude nighttime. Okay, and you can make a bracha on it. The Mechaber says in Beis. Now the question is, what about women? It says the Mechaber, Noshim v'avodim peturim, women are exempt from tzitzis. Why? Because it's time bound. It's a positive mitzvah that's time bound because you don't wear tzitzis. You're not obligated to wear tzitzis at night. So because it's time bound, any time bound mitzvahs, women are exempt. Now here's the thing, though. Although women are exempt from time bound mitzvahs, they're able to do that if they choose, according to everybody. A woman is able to optionally do a time-bound mitzvah. They do it by lulav and shofar, etc. Now, can they make a bracha on a time-bound mitzvah? That's a famous machlokes between the Sfaradim and Ashkenazim. Ashkenazim say yes, Sfaradim say no. So the Mechaber says, "Menishim mitzvah seishin man grama." Okay, says the Rama. The Rama is consistent with his view that women are able to optionally do time-bound mitzvahs with a bracha. So women are able to wear a talis with a bracha. Now that sounds, if you stop right here, that would sound pretty controversial because we don't do this. So why don't we do it? Now the question is, practically, women do not wear tzitzis. They do not wear a talis. Why not? Why is it different than the other time-bound mitzvahs? So the Rama already talks about it. It's considered a haughty act. It's an act of gaiva. Why? Because they don't make a bracha and they don't even wear tzitzis. Why? The halach is by tzitzis is what we call an optional mitzvah. You don't have to wear tzitzis. Again, the Gemara, anyone who's been done Daf Yomi, the Gemara, you'll remember, the Gemara talked about how it protects you in a time of anger, but you're not obligated. If you're wearing a four-cornered beged, you have to put tzitzis on it, but it's technically optional in that if you never wear a four-cornered beged, you're never obligated in tzitzis. Because it's an optional mitzvah, for women to do it when it's completely optional, and it's time-bound, it's considered a haughty act, and women don't do it. What's interesting, I saw from the Lavush, an interesting point. Once women don't do it, then it's considered a masculine garment. It's considered, right? Women are not allowed to wear men's clothing. They're allowed to wear unisex. So if women always wore tzitzis, then the tzitzis would be a unisex garment. But because women don't, then it's actually loy silbash. The Kenzain, that's the Lavush holds, it's Kenzain Aser. Okay, but Bekitzer, also Api Kabbalah, women and tzitzis don't mix, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. I just know they don't mix Api Kabbalah. And that's why it's like funny, like a Shaila, like these non-Orthodox places, like the women want to wear tzitzis. It's like, it's already talked about in the Ramah. They don't, because it's considered an act of gaiva. Okay. Zak the Mechaber weiter, Tumtum v'androgenes chayavim misafik. A tumtum and androgynous, which it's unclear whether they're a male or a female, they have to put tzitzis on without a bracha. What is a tumtum androgynous? Push tumtum loinoidem uzachar nekeva. Androgynous yesh leizachas and akvas. A tumtum is someone whose genital area is covered with skin. You pasha don't know what they are. You have to have a surgery to reveal it, but till you have the surgery, they don't know what they are. And an androgynous is someone who has both male and female body parts. So the definition of what is a woman is someone who's born with female genitalia. That's what a woman is, and a male is someone who's born with male genitalia. If you're born with both, then you're it's unclear, so you do it without a bracha. Okay, the Mechaber says in Gimel, Katan hayedei l'sativ. If a katan is old enough, right, they're children, so under 13 you're not chayiv, but when you hit a certain age, you're obligated in chinuch. What's the age that we're mechanech a child? So when it comes to positive mitzvahs, we're mechanech a child by the age that they're able to understand said mitzvah. It's subjective to each mitzvah, usually around 6 usually is the age 5 or 6, but I'll tell you tzitz is a little different. But the point is, the age that a child is chayiv, that his father has to mechanech him in tzitzis, is yedei l'sativ. if he knows how to wrap himself in a talus, meaning, let's say old school Svardim, right? The kids wear a talus. If they're old enough to understand how to wear a talus, that you wrap a talus, huh? Third grade was it's a little old. Now, v'dafka she'edei la'atif shnei tzitzis lefanav v'shnayim la'acharav. He has to be able to know to put 2 in front, 2 behind him. He has to be old enough to understand how to wear it properly. V'yedei la'achaz tzitzis biyadav b'shas kriya shema. And he has to know that you hold them during Shema. So it shows you by the importance of holding them during Shema, but also that's like the barometer, because anyone could wear anything. You could dress anybody. Where the kid will know, oh, it's Shema, I hold my tzitzis. When he's that age, you have to be mechanechim. Now, we all know, though, the Shlach HaKadosh already said, we go earlier. From the age of 3, by the Upsharon, they put tzitzis on the kid as a skula for protection. He's not chayiv. A 3-year-old is not old enough to do this properly. Usually it's like 5 or 6. But from the age of 3, but that's why the Poskim say, I mentioned yesterday, the Aruch HaShulchan holds that there's no shear for a tzitzis. They say from the age of 3 to 6, when he's not even chayiv in chinuch, you're just doing it for the inyan, a skula, protection, whatever it is, you don't have to be makbid on the shear. You only have to start being makbid on the shear when they're age of chinuch. Says the Mishnah Berurah, lichachloi tzitzis, pirish lichachloi begesh, shaldal kan v'sathloi tzitzis. The shear talisa, what's the shear of a tzitzis for that age? Because we talked yesterday, the shear of a tzitzis. Now the shear of tzitzis, so we talked yesterday, was an almond, front almond on the back. That's going to be way too big for a 5-year-old. So says the Mishnah Berurah, chayiv kedei l'satif by roisha v'ruba shaloi. It's subjective for that child, basically. Measure that child, how big is a beged to cover his chest and his head? Whatever the shear is for each child, you should get a tzitzis that's, age appropriate. The Mishnah Berurah then says in the end of Yud, he says, "B'drashas maril behilchos nesuin shenoigim shagam nairim gedolim ein mesatim betzitzis at shenoisim lehem noshim." This is the old minig of the maril that before marriage you wear a talis. There's a source from the pasuk. It says gedilim tasalach, which is the tzitzis, and then the next one is giyikach cheshish to get married. But the Mishnah Berurah, Yeka is where Talisim. He says, "Who davar temua?" It's a strange thing. What's the shaykhs? What's the connection? And therefore he disagrees. And the Yakasha minig is they wear Talisim from the age of definitely bar mitzvah.